Hello, beloveds. I am doing another video while sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic, which I did a few days ago as well. But when you're driving in the car or when you're in the shower, these are the times that we think about things and the subconscious bubbles up and we have some things to say. So I just whipped out my phone to take this video because I think that this story that I have to share today is going to help some people, particularly women, but any human I am a fan of helping. So I want to talk about a recent situation where I found myself in a scenario with a man who had been out of integrity with me in the past and never taken accountability. And I'm sure that, I'm not the only one with a couple of stories like that, right? And it hurts. It hurts. Recently, I received an apology from someone else for lack of integrity, and it really meant a lot because, I put my heart forward in a lot of situations. But not only that, we're giving our energy to relationships, to friendships, relationships of any sort. And so I went to pick up my child from a rites of passage weekend with men. And I knew that an old friend of mine who I have not spoken to in a year and a half, I knew that he was on staff. And what I did not expect was to have to be in a circle with him, like a processing circle at the end of the weekend. And then I walked up to the circle and we sat down, and I sat down in the circle. And again, I have a history with him and I'm not okay with him. And at the same time, it was like, well, can I sit in the same place as him to do this circle that's about the kids? Of course I can, right? So during the circle, something significant happened where the parents were asked to check in about our emotions, about the children, the process. And what I said was that I trusted my child and that it felt really good to trust him more the more he does these rites of passage weekends. And my perception, my experience was that later in the circle, this man who was out of integrity with me in the past, never took accountability, and now we're in a circle together, he kind of twisted in my perception that I had said that I trusted them. And he was saying, he said my name, and then he said, we're so appreciative of the parents' trust. And that really bothered me because I do not trust this person, and there was never any repair. Okay, so here I am, a woman who is sitting in a space with a man who, again, was out of integrity with me in the past, never took accountability, and now he's publicly spinning as if I just said I trusted him. And I was like, that's not what I said. No, I was like a no to that. So at the end of the circle, I asked to speak with him and the man running the circle, who's my child's mentor. And I spoke that I wasn't okay with what happened, and I wasn't okay sitting in the circle. And I was triggered for sure. And I said what I wanted to say to this man. And I was like, you're going to listen. To be clear, I don't trust you. And I said a lot more. And so after that, and I processed with a couple of female friends since then, one of which kind of witnessed it. And they had different takes on it for sure. And it's like, here's my takeaway. And this is what I emailed both of these men yesterday. I said, I learned a lesson. I learned that I will never put my body, my woman, into a circle, which implies community and which implies, trust. I will never put my body into a circle and sit down with someone that is out of integrity with me. either that circle clears like what happened, meaning either we address it or we address it out of the circle, or it doesn't happen. But this is the point. Like, how many times do we put ourselves in situations where something has happened to us in the past, or someone was out of integrity with us, and we put our bodies into the scenarios that make us feel squirmy, sick, upset, silenced, taken advantage of, forcibly silenced. Okay. And like, how many times do we do that as women, where we go into a situation, like maybe this is a workplace, maybe this is your partnership, or relationship, maybe not a partnership if it's making you feel like that, but maybe it's your husband, or like the relationship in your house, where you go into this and you feel like, I can't speak what I have to speak, and my silence makes me feel squirmy and sick and re-traumatized, and the man is just getting away with it because he's put here in a position of leadership, right? He's a leader in this organization. He's put in a position of leadership, and then he's speaking, and it's like whatever he's speaking, he's painting some kind of picture of things being fine. And it's like, I don't condone silence anymore, and I'm not going to hold in my woman body, in my female form, in my soma, I'm not going to hold the silence and it's like holding the burden, while the man outwardly pretends and projects as if everything's fine. He never has to deal with it and take accountability. Look, these parents trust us. And I was like, to be clear, I trust the organization. I don't trust you. And I will not pretend, and I will not be silent. So I think that concludes my point. And I just hope that this helps someone, because, I look at the energetics of women's sovereignty and relational sovereignty. Like, what does it mean for us to be sovereign beings and be in right relationship with one another? And I'm very interested in this. Because so much of what, has been going on, all of the shadow material, is that like someone's acquiescing. It's not always the woman, for sure. But like, in dominator culture, we have patterns of like someone acquiescing to someone else's power. And a lot of times we don't feel good in this situations, like the relational situations that we're in, because like either we're self-sacrificing, or we are, feeling like we're missing out, like we're not able to bring everything to the table, and we're not able oftentimes to bring everything to the table safely and have it be resolved and reconciled. So actually, the last thing I'll say to keep this under 10 minutes is that I did send a follow-up email, and I said, I am willing to sit down at a mediation table, but I also said, I will not be using my life force energy and my, time and energy, my resources to organize that, because he's had the opportunity for a year and a half to do that, to take accountability and to step forward. And I'm going to put that on the masculine to do that in this scenario, to take action and put energy toward it if he wants to make it right. So I hope that this inspires. I am available, if you want to talk about it, sarapoa.com. If you want to talk about your situation, I'm available for all kinds of help in this area. Okay, many blessings.